These are the 6 most common mistakes that every English learner makes. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to fix them and ultimately sound more fluent. This will be a very quick video today, as I have a few more videos I want to make. But by the end of it, you should sound more fluent and more natural when you speak English. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, hello, my name is Catherine. I am an intermediate to advanced B1 plus English teacher, and I'm sure you'll find something helpful on my channel, so welcome and enjoy. Okay, the first mistake today is a very common one. Make versus do. Make versus do. A lot of people say they do a mistake, they do a plan, they make yoga. But what we need to remember here is make is when we create or produce something. Do is for an action or a task. So we do our homework. We do work. We don't make work or make homework. We do homework. We do work. We do chores around the house. We do exercise. Okay, typically we say I go running, I go hiking, but the verb would be to do a hike, not to make a hike. To do a run, not to make a run. Okay, naturally would be more likely to say go for a run, go hiking, right? But the verb is to do, not to make. Make when we create, produce something. So I make a cake, I make a decision. The decision was not there before you made it, you created it. I make a plan. The plan did not exist before you decided to do it, to create this plan. I made this as a short the other day, and a lot of native English speakers disagreed with me in the comments. They said, we don't make money. Money already exists. We're not creating it out of nothing. True. But no one has ever said I do money, and you're creating it for yourself. You're not creating it in the world. Of course, that money still exists somewhere, but you are creating that money for yourself by exchanging your skills, your knowledge, your time for that money. No one has ever said I do money, and that is why the question is, how much do you make? Because you're making money per year. But to be honest, I think native English speakers have so much time between when they learnt the grammar rules and now that when they hear something, they feel it's not right, they have to say it. Because of course, it's my language, I know my language. But as a native English speaker myself, we learn the grammar rules under the age of 12. So being a 40-year-old man and claiming to know all the English grammar rules doesn't make sense. The only exception is to make the bed, which means to make your bed look nice after you've slept in it. That's an action, but for some reason we say make the bed and not do the bed, and there's no explanation behind that. Just remember the exception is make the bed. Anyway, number 2, say versus tell. Now I have covered this before, so again, a quick go over. To say something, we're focusing on what was said, the words that were said. So he said this, or I want to say this. To tell, we're focusing on the person that is receiving the information or the person that gave us that information. I will tell you tomorrow. We always have to have the you, me, him, her. He told me, the boss told us. There's always some person involved in the situation. Which is why we say, what did you say? Because the focus is on the words you said, but who did you tell? Who did you tell? Because I want to know what people know this information. Who knows this information? Some people ask about speak and talk, and technically those are interchangeable. They're a bit more general, just some words were said and these were the words. I was speaking to Sam. I was talking to Sam. I want to talk about. I want to speak about. So speak and tell are a bit more interchangeable. Say and tell, we would never say I want to say you. It would have to be I want to say something to you. I have something to say. I have something to tell. No, we can't say that. Okay, next. Now this is very, very common with a lot of my students because as you develop your English, you want to create more complex sentences. So you're telling past stories, you're explaining things that happened and why they happened. So often people confuse past simple and present perfect. Now, past simple, simply, something has finished. So therefore, we use the past tense. I went yesterday. Present perfect, it's a life experience that we have had, are having. It's usually continued into this present moment. And I often hear this mistake when people introduce themselves and their work. Instead of, I worked at this company for 10 years, this to me sounds like you finished working there because past tense. I have worked at this company for 10 years. Have meaning you are still working there. Same with if I ask you, have you ever been to Africa? And you say, yes, I went to Africa. Technically, if we're stopping the sentence there, it should be, I have been, because the focus is on if you have had this life experience or not. If you wanted to say, yes, I went to Africa when I was 15, and this and this and this, yes, okay, makes sense because you're explaining one past situation. But when you just want to identify this is something that I do have experience in or don't have experience in, it should be present perfect. Have you tried this? Yes, I have tried. Have you seen this? Yes, I have seen. Sometimes students use the present perfect when it should be the past simple. Not often, to be honest, because past simple is easier. But for example, if I say, I have been to the shop yesterday. Okay, so you have been. So are you explaining to me that this was a once in a lifetime experience? Or are you saying you're still at the shop now during our lesson? In that case, you're telling me a story that is finished. So I went to the shop. If you want to make it more advanced, your storytelling more advanced, that is when you would use past continuous or past perfect continuous. I had been going to the shop. I was going to the shop. Now, I'm not going to go into detail here, but I will link below a video I did on all the past tenses, so you can go and watch that if you want to elevate, improve your storytelling skills. But for the purpose of this video, please remember that past simple, the action has finished. Present perfect, it started in the past, but is continued now. I have been teaching English for 6 years. I have been watching your videos for 2 years. I have been to this place before. I have eaten this before. Versus, I ate that last year. I went there when I was 12. Prepositions, pesky prepositions. Now, again, going into detail on the prepositions would take a very long time. I will link that video down below if you want to refresh yourself with the prepositions. Let's go over in quick detail. The most difficult thing about prepositions is there's no logic behind it. It's just memory. You just have to remember which prepositions are used with which situation. So here you can see that in we use with months, morning, afternoon, evening, less specified period of time, sometime in this period, in the summer, in the year 2060, in the 16th century, in January, in February, in March. We don't know when within that time, so in. More specifically is on, so we use on with dates and our birthday. Now, of course, you don't know when my birthday is, but I do, so it's a specific date on my birthday. And at is the most specific because we use it with times and specific holidays. We use no preposition when we have time-related words, such as next, last, yesterday, tomorrow, this. I'll meet you at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I don't need a preposition before tomorrow. I'll meet you next Monday. No preposition because next. Monday. Last week, again, no preposition because last week identifies when it happened. If you want to practice your knowledge of prepositions, there are 2 fantastic websites I recommend, and those are Perfect English Grammar and testenglish.com. You can find all the exercises you want on prepositions, so go and practice those. Adjectives versus adverbs. Okay, so adjectives describe something, a person, something you've seen, right? But an adverb describes how something is done. So, for example, careful is an adjective. He is careful. We're describing him. The dog was careful, describing the dog. Quick, we're describing the car. It's a quick car. Technically, we would say fast car rather than quick car. Whereas quickly, carefully, slowly, badly, this is describing how something happens. Drive carefully. He drives quickly. The tortoise walks slowly. He did badly in his exam. We're describing how he did, not the end result. We're not describing the thing. We're describing how his actions were in the exam. General rule is add ly. Now, if the word ends in a y, as you can see in the table, we add an ily. The only exception is good and well. So good is the adjective. You are a good teacher. You are a good student. But well is how you teach. You teach well. You learn well. You remember well. Or you have a good memory. I'm describing the memory. You remember things well. I'm describing how you remember. And as you can see from the table, there are a couple of words that do not change. Hard, fast, early, late, right, wrong. Okay, and a lot of people get this confused and they say he speaks English clear, should be clearly. His English is clearly, should be his English is clear because we're describing the English, not how he speaks, okay? There will be an exercise linked in the description box to this website because it's very helpful for practicing. Okay, our 6th mistake is so versus such. Now, so is typically used with an adjective or adverb. And of course, so can be changed with very. So you can say very or you can say so. It was so boring. I am so excited. He was running so quickly. They tested the software so carefully. Adverb, whereas such is used with nouns. So you have an adjective still, but then you have a noun that you are describing. It was such a good movie, not it was so a good movie. But the movie was so good. Yes, we can say it like that because so good comes at the end of the sentence. There's nothing else after it. She is such a kind person. She is so kind. We're just using an adjective. So when it's just the adjective or adverb, so. But when it's the adjective and then the noun, then it should be such. They had such terrible weather. The weather was so terrible. Okay? Oh, I was going to say, and then the last one, but no, that was the last one. So, as always, any exercises linked to what I've talked about today will be in the description box. I will also link some videos that I've done on these topics if you want more information. And that's all from me today. So I will see you in the next video. I'm hoping to do 2 or 3 videos this week. So, see you in the next one. Please like, share, subscribe for me. Please feel free to share these videos on your social media. It helps me a lot. And on the weekend, I think I was at 11,998 subscribers. So I'm hoping after this video we'll be at 12,000, which would be amazing. So thank you everyone for your support, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.